live. Thank you for tuning in, for watching, for listening. I really appreciate it. Very excited about having Steven, Alex, and Jermaine on. Mike, I don't remember, and their training is unbelievable because they're unbelievable. They're really good. And I think that, one of the things that we're getting feedback from so many people about how effective how diverse the training is across the board, from newer people who have been here for 4 years to I'm here 60 days, to how to get new agents started fast and those pitfalls Steven talked to you about, and Alex Jermaine talking about top producers and all that. So I really think that we continue to hold on to the fact that we know we can do better, and we know everybody can. I was talking with a group this week, and they said, what do you think we need to do a better job of? I said, you do a really good job promoting yourself. And I'm glad you promote yourself. That's very good. Congratulations. You need to be it's like my daughter is going to be 18 next month. You know what she wanted, Mike, for her birthday?
What's that?
She wanted to go to Jennifer Lopez concert. Okay. So she wants to go. So, like, you don't realize how crazy it is. You don't realize, I guess I don't know enough about stuff that I didn't know that, like, it was going to be wherever we went, it was going to be Madhouse. So we tried it in New York, Mike, the power went out. I got 2 songs in, I was like, all right, we're almost there, right? I got 2 hours. And I'm like, and she's a phenomenal performer. Believe me, she's awesome. But it's funny because then we had to go back into Boston, they canceled the show with no power. But the thing about it was, what I said because my buddy runs, like, he knows a lot of people there, and she's like, I want to meet her. I'm like, oh God, here I gotta meet. So and I talked to him, and so we had to wait around like an hour afterwards. She gets to meet her and, whatever, do meet and greet and stuff with her. And all I said, because, like, it was about my daughter, but I said, hey, I need to let you know something. And she's super, super nice. I said, I've never seen 20,000 people that excited. You reached into everybody's heart and you touched it. And they were jumping. Now listen, some were probably intoxicated, so that played a part. But they were, and my point was, it told a story, and it told a story about just her journey, and it was pretty cool, right? Because, like, she wasn't born famous or rich, and it's pretty neat to think about all the things. So really, I'm always thinking about business. So I'm sorry, I always am. So, like, they're doing the show, kids are dancing around. She has 2 of her friends, they're all excited. I'm trying not to have everybody jump on top of me. And then, like, if I sit down, my daughter's like, what are you doing? I'm like, sitting down, like I'm old and my back hurts, but whatever. So I get up but at the end of the day, for me, it's watching people here in real life having that kind of excitement about what they can do for their families. And listening to the way the story was presented, because I'm a big marketer and I love to pay attention to the way people market things, it was an empowerment kind of deal. In the midst of this concert, right, it was talking about you going out, because it was 2 hours a long time, Mike. So they dance, they sing, she does that show. I know nothing. I watch TV. I'm just too, and not that, I just don't. The lab, the dancing team on her dance show that she makes her own dance show that she markets. These kids, can they dance? When we were in New York, remember Hungry? They're young. They're young. Teenagers. When the power went out, they kept dancing. To the point where they had to, because they're like, you know what? We just got in, like, national stage. We are going, you all gonna come drag us off. And I think that when you can see people that have been doing something for as long as they've been doing it, still act that way. Still be that hungry. You made me wear this, no, I say made me wear a shirt. I'm a big Tombstone fan. I'm not wearing a cowboy hat anymore because Matt Smith looked a lot better than me, so I passed on that. He trumped me on that one.
But he's Matt Smith.
He's Matt Smith, but I'm just saying he's still dead. Next time I do it, I'm not sitting next to Matt Smith. I'm gonna get Bobby in here. Bobby's gonna wear a cowboy hat and me.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm your Huckleberry. That's our theme. But really, I want to set the stage for you for what I see is happening with people and what I hear them talking about. I think that we have an overwhelming understanding that we're going to be presumptive. We have an overwhelming understanding. Like, that's part of this. That's the sales journey, right? Is people start to sell something. I call it order taking, but still, we start to sell something, and we need to be able to convince the people we work with, convince them that the people want our product. That's hard to do when they don't really need your product. one of the things we've learned and wholeheartedly have embraced is every single client. Mike, I started thinking about this. How about this? Trying to do some client involved trainings, right? Like a real story, because we have a lot of them, because of a client who talks about what it was like to receive a check and what that meant to their family. Now, the other one would be to have an involvement with somebody that didn't get, whether it was we went and met with them, somebody else went and met. When I was 3 months in this business, Mike, I really just, I need to make money for my family, right? Like I want to help the clients. There was never a time where I didn't want to help clients. But if you said, what were you motivated by? I was like, well, I was motivated by helping the people, but I need to pay my bills. Like but I really need to pay my bills, so it's really hard to say I was so altruistic that it was about helping everybody. I needed to help me first, like the oxygen mask on a plane. Like I got to help me so I can breathe, so I can help other people. And I went with a lady in Groton, Connecticut, which is 15, 20 minutes from here. I had not had death claim on any of my policies yet, and a few months in, and the lady comes out to the driveway and she meets me like I can't, and she walks all the way out. I booked an appointment with her, Mike, being a newer agent, right? Everybody told me to book them a day or two out, but I'm a new agent, right? And I'm smart, right? And I'm talking about me. This is me.
Yeah.
Whether you've been around, you've been around for a month, you've been around for 10 years. I go, yeah, I know what y'all are saying, but you know what? And I remember talking to them on the phone, and they were like, not really, they were busy, and so we set it for 2 weeks, Mike. Okay? Because that always makes sense, right?
Yes, always.
And I show up. And I know it's going to be okay. And she comes walking out. Well, her husband died. He died 5 days before I met with her.
Wow.
And I started really, because I want to know. And she said, Shawn, reason we didn't meet with you is we met with somebody else. And I was like, okay. So she's like, I need your help. She's bawling. I need your help. Nobody will help me. I took out a life insurance policy on my husband. And, I mean, you talk about like healthy. Heart attack, dropped dead in the driveway. Went to get the mail, had a heart attack, died. She's inside waiting for him, like, doing a million other things. Hasn't seen him in 25 minutes, which is not that irregular. Walks out the driveway, he's laying in the driveway. She calls 911, he's dead. He's dead in the scene, he's not 50s. She meets with a guy, and I have his card. And so I'm helping her, Mike. And I know nothing. I'm 90 days in, right? I'm working my other job, I'm doing this part-time. So we call the guy, and I'm like, hey, listen, I just want to let you know, did you know so-and-so died? And he's like, yes, I did. The wife called me. Who are you? I told him. I said, I'm just happen to be out here. I live not far away. My office isn't far away. He was an out-of-state guy. And he says, yeah, but I told her there's no coverage. And I said, well, what do you mean? He's like, well, he had to go through a bunch of blood work and urine, and so he read, and Mike, that moment in time, I said to myself, I would never put my client in that position. So she's very upset because what she states is that he told her husband was covered. She didn't anticipate her husband was going to die. He just dropped dead suddenly. So my point is that every single person we meet with is a potential claim right after we leave. And for me, you never know how it's going to work. So I immediately, and by the way, I don't even think we knew each other, Mike, then, but dude, I wasn't selling. I was selling some policies that wouldn't keep me. And at that moment in time, even though I really needed the money, helping people became more important than making money. And then I started selling $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a month, every month, issue paid, just life insurance. At the time, it was final expense only. So when you go, well, final expense hard. Yeah, my policies, what was my average premium back then? Like $30 a month?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't sell the value enough, and I didn't understand it. I got leads that were just postcards that said it was free. It was a different time. I was in, places where it was really hard for people. But I did it, and I worked hard, and I loved helping people, which then made me money. So I think when you listen to the three of these guys talk, and all the people hopefully you hear at Family First Life, you hear about the concern they have for the client, and I think that's when Zach Lovell was talking to me, man, thank you so much, and I really hope everybody appreciated my training because he just wants to help. And I'm like, yeah, the minute you started putting the client first, we all say that, right? It's like good parents put their kids first, right? It's how it works. I mean, I'm not judging anybody. I'm not saying good, bad. I'm discerning that good parents go, you know what? I don't feel like getting up at 5 a.m. and driving you to baseball, football, basketball. I don't feel like sitting through a full, hey Mike, you go to your dance recitals for Carmela?
Yep.
How many songs is she in? Like 2? 3 for the whole day?
4 now.
For the whole day?
It was like 1 or 2.
1 or 2. How long do those things last?
3-4 hours.
Yeah, 3-4 hours. At least.
Yep.
And you sit there. Is it like Dancing with the Stars? No. They're nice kids that pay to be in dance class.
Right.
And you watch. But you do it because it's about your kids. And regardless of how you feel, if you're sick, if your back hurts, whatever the deal is, you put your kids. All we're saying here, and I'll turn it over to Stephen. All we're saying here is that we've made a conscious decision that we are truly going to do this the way the industry, I believe, should have been doing it the entire time. And I think anything you do when you put others first, you just win. Sometimes you don't even know why you're winning because you can't articulate it. It's not a numerical thing where you can go, all right, 2 plus 2, A plus B plus. It's not that way. It's I'm just serving you. And when people know you're serving them, it's hard for them to not allow you to do because they know where it comes from. So I think when you start, there's great phone scripts and all that's great. Stuff we say at home, but you get in your car and you understand who you are. You understand that they ask for your help and they need you more than you can imagine. You understand that you truly put them first. The money's going to come. Anybody I've met or read about is very successful and the money wasn't given to them. The money came to them after they started focusing on other people first. Being accountable for themselves. When it doesn't go right, it's on you. When it doesn't go right, it's on me. The day doesn't go right, that's on me. What could I have changed? I made a decision like 3 months in to not say, but the clients always, they don't, they won't, they didn't listen. I stopped doing that. Just like with agents, I didn't do, they aren't. They don't want to sell anything. There's no way the agent doesn't want to sell. That wouldn't make any kind of sense. So I started talking we. So we didn't make a good decision that day. So what happened to those appointments? We just didn't get it right. I'm sure some things I did when I talked and we weren't in a place, because the minute I start going they and blaming other people for what I didn't do right, that's a dangerous place to be. And it's a very unsuccessful place to be. And in it you'll pay the penalty's very heavy because it's about you not serving and you not making the money you need to make for your family. So please listen in to what these gentlemen are saying today. We're going to continue. We follow up next week with Eric Schmidt, right? With Eric, who's crushing it. A lot of leads, a lot of work, but he'll talk to you more specifically about what he's doing. Appreciate you guys training. Appreciate everybody getting on. We are finishing this month strong. Give you real quick. We were doing $4 million a month in live business like 7 months ago. Now we're at $8 million a month in live business, and we're going to $10 million a month, which means we're helping a lot of people. So a lot of people won't deal with what that woman had to deal with that I had to meet with in the middle of her driveway because her husband dropped dead in that same driveway. So it's all yours, Stephen. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for jumping on.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Stephen Yee, sales manager here at Family First Life USA, Coast to Coast and Freedom. My job today is to talk to you about the 3 things that new agents struggle with here at Family First Life and what stops them from taking action or actually becoming successful here. So the first thing that we're going to jump right into is the number one reason why people don't take action when they join the company is because of fear. They fear the unknown. They don't know what's going to happen, right? The fear of dialing is actually the number one thing that stops someone from being productive. And for me, if you really think about it, if you break it down, dialing a phone is putting 10 numbers on a phone and pressing send, right? But what's easy to do is also easy not to do, because if you really think about it, people get, the fear comes from not actually doing the thing, but not knowing what's going to happen when they do the thing, which is they might have someone answer the phone on the other end and have no idea what to say. Or they might actually talk to someone but don't know how to overcome an objection. Or they actually might book the appointment but have no idea what to offer the client. They don't know the products. So therefore they don't want to do it and they avoid it at all costs, right? So I always talk about it as fear is like water and fire. And here's what I mean by that. With water, water controlled properly can hydrate you. It can bathe and clean you, right? It can make you, you can shower with it and you can go out and not smell. But water not controlled properly can drown a kid and it can kill some families, right? Same thing with fire. Fire controlled properly can heat up a home. It can cook you a nice meal. But if fire is not controlled properly, it can burn down an entire county. And it's the same thing with fear. With fear, if you control it properly, if you put a leash on it, it will help usher you into success. And if you really think about it, we always tell people, just get on the phone and dial. You know, just push 10 numbers on there and press send. And if someone answers, just talk to them. And if you have no idea what to say, hang up and say, hey, sorry, I lost reception, and go about that. The number one thing I can tell you as a brand new agent is just to go dial. Go pick up the phone and actually go call some leads. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is I want to share a story with you. When I was in like 7th or 8th grade, I took earth science because that's what you do when you're in middle school. And two of my best friends in middle school was Steven and George. And I remember one day we walked into class and there's 30 of us, and on the table there is a cup with soil in it. And there's all of us, every single one of us had one. And we walked in and our teacher was like, all right, you know, the assignment is for you to go grow this plant and bring it back to us 2 weeks from now. And based on how you do will be determined on what kind of grade you will receive. So, you know, we take it back and the teacher instructs us, you know, twice a day, you got to water the plant, put it by the sunlight. And that's all you have to do. Twice a day, water it, put it next to the sunlight, right? So what happened was, you know, I get home, I find the nearest window that we have, and I put the plant there. And every morning before I went to school, I would water the plant. Every day when I got home from school, I would water the plant. So this went on for about a week, and you know, no results, nothing happened. So I made a phone call to Steven, one of my best friends, and I called him and I was like, hey bro, how's it going? How's your plant looking like right now? And he goes, bro, you should see this. I have to take out the cup because the plant is growing so fast that it won't fit in the cup that our teacher gave us. And I was like, wait, what? My plant barely grew like a centimeter. I can barely see something coming out the soil. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean your plant is growing so rapidly, right? And he was like, yeah. I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing differently? I mean, are you watering it 3 times a day? Are you putting it, you know, somewhere else in the house? Like what are you doing? Are you using like alkaline water? Are you using faucet water? Are you using bottle? Like, what type of water are you using? Right? Because he got a result and I didn't, I'm starting to question everything I'm doing, even though it was what the teacher told me to do. Right? And I called my buddy George and I said, hey, you know, how's your plant coming along? And he said, dude, my thing is dead. And for me, I felt good because at least mine wasn't dead, right? So I was in between both of them. But what happened was I started to question what the teacher told me to do when I started to compare my results with others. And that's what happens here a lot is, you know, as a new agent, we're told to, hey, pick up the phone on Monday, dial until so you can run appointments on Tuesday and Wednesday. And what happens is because we don't get the result or we see somebody else book 10 appointments in like 3-4 hours and we don't have that result, now we start questioning the entire process. It's like, you know, for me to ask Joe Miller and say, hey, when you call your clients, do you hold your phone in the left hand or the right hand? Wait, you know what? Never mind. Do you put it on speakerphone or do you wear earplugs? Right? Like it sounds so stupid, but we do that. And the activity of what we were instructed to do, we start to question it because we see results from others, but we don't see it from ourselves. And what happened was 2 weeks after from the time that our teacher gave us that plant, we brought it back into class. And, you know, everybody, you know, Steven's literally lugging a new pot into the classroom. I'm carrying like a small little Dixie cup. And you know, George, I feel bad for that guy because his thing is dead. It's literally just falling off to the side, right? But, you know, we put our plant on the table and the teacher first asked us, how many of you guys actually watered the plant twice a day like we asked you to? And, you know, we all raised our hand. And she said, great. So we'll give you all an A for an effort. But why did every single one of you guys get different results? And, you know, as a 7th grader, as a kid, you have no idea what, you know, earth science. I don't understand any of this. So the teacher said, the reason why all you guys have different results is because in every single one of the cups, you had a different seed. And that's what happens here at Family First Life. You know, like I can be a brand new agent that just got newly licensed, that just joins the company today. And luckily for me, I found Family First Life on my first try. And, the next agent that joins the Facebook group, we welcome him in the group too. And he goes out and writes 10 grand this week and I don't. And I look at myself like, what the heck am I doing? But what you don't understand is there's a story behind the story, right? Because for me, I'm comparing my week 1 in Family First Life versus his week 1 in Family First Life. But what you don't know is that guy has probably been in insurance for 3 years, worked for 2 different companies, and had awful results. That's the reason why he's here. He has the experience and he has the skill set. That's why he's able to go out there and have a different result, because he has a different seed. Does that kind of make sense? So in actuality, you're not comparing their week 1 in Family First Life with your week 1 in Family First Life. You're comparing your week 1 in insurance with their week 37 in insurance. Does that kind of make sense? So don't compare your results with others, because that's the easiest way to rob yourself of the joy that you're going to have from doing the proper activity. Earlier this year, I was lucky and blessed enough to have a meeting with Shawn and Andrew and some of these other leaders. And Shawn said, what is your goal this year, Steve? What are you going to do? And I said, $300,000. I'm going to issue pay $300,000 this year. And how I'm going to do it is by issuing $20,000 a month and writing $1 million worth of annuities, right? With that properly done, I'll probably, if I do it exactly like that way, I'll be at 340, but with the cushion, oh well, I'll probably hit 300, right? So $20,000 a month of Simplified Life business is $5,000 a week. And just like last week, I wrote $5,000 on a weekend trip, and I felt good about myself because I did the proper activity. I ran my 20-some appointments. I sold $5,000 and issued $5,000 in the home because it all got approved. But what happened was, the moment I jump on Facebook, I see that Ivan sells for like $5,000 in one home, and he's at like $15,000 for the week. I see the Porcinas go out there and for the week, and I'm like, dude, I suck at this, right? Like, I'm not very good at insurance. Like, I should quit, right? But not knowing that what I did was proper, because if I just kept doing the same activity, I would have the result, which is $20,000 a month plus my pending annuities. So I want you to understand to not compare your stuff with others, because the only thing you need to be focused on is the activity of how you're going to generate that result. Okay? Focus on the activity, the results will come on its own, and everybody has a different story. You don't know where you came from versus where they came from, so you cannot expect to have the same result. The third thing I want to talk to you guys today is a concept that I learned a long time ago in sports, and it was an hour in the field is more important than 20 hours in the classroom. I coach high school basketball where I live, and I have a bunch of teenagers at the varsity level that are like, 15, 16, 17 years old that are so addicted to YouTube, right? They watch Ball is Life and all these hoop mixtapes, and they're like, man, these kids are great, and they're watching film all day long of somebody else play basketball. And they might understand the moves, but they can't actually implement it and put it into play themselves. Why is that? Because they only have the learned knowledge. They don't have the activity. They never actually put the practice in play or gone up against a defense. And why do I say that? Because when we hire new agents, the number one thing they always say is, before I dial the phone and before I book any appointments and run any appointments, I need to know what products that we offer here. And I always give them the same response every single time. Hey man, hey John, you know what? We work with 20 carriers here at Family First Life because we're independent, right? Not only that, every carrier has a minimum of 5 products. So you're gonna tell me that you're gonna study 100 products before you go out and make your first phone call? No chance. You'll never ever do anything here, right? You're gonna have paralysis by analysis. You're not gonna ever move. And I say that because, it goes back to the first thing we were talking about, the fear of dialing. Right? Just dial the phone and figure it out afterwards. There's a reason why our system in place for brand new agents works so well, right? We have a brand new agent right now, for example, in Texas, and he's never sold insurance ever in his life before. And I told him, hey, it's real simple, okay? I want you to learn how to dial the phone. Here's a phone script. Here's some videos. Watch it. When you book the appointment, when you book a appointment, then call me. We'll figure it out. And he's like, all right, sounds good. See, he never asked me, hey, what underwriting guides do we have? What term products, what UL products, what whole life products do we offer? What's the riders like? What's the quote sheet like? He didn't need to do all that. He literally said, what do I need to do? I said, dial the phone, and he dialed the phone, right? He books 4 appointments, and I'm like, great. Watch this video on how to use the financial inventory. And when you collect that data, I want you to call me in the home and ask for help. Perfect. He goes out, He sits on the 4 appointments. Inside the appointments, he's like, hey, I gather all the information. He makes a phone call to me. He goes, Mrs. Jones, I need to speak to my senior underwriter. Give me 1 second. He calls me and he's like, Steve, I'm sitting down with Mrs. Jones. She's 67 years old with high blood pressure, diabetes. What product do I write? I'm like, Eagle Premier. He quotes Eagle Premier and sells the product. And I'm like, where can you go, not know any products that we have, but just take the correct action and go make $1,000, right? Because an hour in the field is worth more than 20 hours in the classroom, because there's so many things that I can prepare him for, but unless he actually goes and does it, it won't actually matter. Does that kind of make sense? Like, I can tell him, hey, you got to learn how to read body language. You're going to learn how to trial close. You're going to have to learn how to ask for the check. You're going to have to learn how to ask for the existing policies that she might have. And most importantly, you got to be able to close the deal. But I can show him all that, but unless he does it in the field himself, he's never going to learn. And what happens is when you actually go in the field and you run a few weeks of appointments, you get better. And when you get better, you take a different note. And here's what I mean by that. After you run a few appointments, you get no-showed, right? You get porched. You sit on some deals that you should have closed, but you didn't. Or you close a few deals and you don't know how, right? But what happens is now you listen to that next level training call, or you listen to that next webinar that we have, and you take a different note. The information's the same, but you take a different note because you're at a different place in your business. And what I mean by that is, when Dom talks about, hey, here's how you confirm your appointments to lessen your no-shows, you take a different note because you got no-showed, right? When Matt Smith talks about trial closes and how to close in the home, you take a different note because you got sick of a client telling you that they got to think about it, right? So an hour in the classroom, an hour in the field is worth more than 20 hours in the classroom. And that's the reason why the best thing you can do as a brand new agent is just get leads and dial. We say all the time, I tell our brand new agents all the time, there's only 3 things you got to get really, really good at here, is acquiring leads, dialing the phone, and being good in the home. Those are the only 3 things you need to make $400,000 here at Family First Life. So with all that being said, thank you for, Shawn, thank you for allowing me to be able to share some thoughts with everybody here at Family First Life. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, but thank you so much. Once again, my name is Steven. You guys have a great day.
What's up, everybody? This is Alexander Lane out here in Atlanta. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about how we could issue pay $30K in a month. We'll be going over schedule, leads, and a little bit of in-home, okay? So I hope this helps. In the beginning, my schedule was all out of whack. I was trying to run like a half day here, evenings here, take care of my kids and everything. And I probably went through about every different type of scenario you really could, trying to find a perfect schedule for me. But, for full-time agents, I think it's really important to just stick to the process, trust the system. Here in Atlanta, I'm pretty sure most of the offices do it the same way. We dial on Mondays, and then we run Tuesday, Wednesday, and you dial on Thursday, you run Friday, Saturday, right? Sunday off day, unless you didn't hit your peak for that week. So then you got to run on Sunday. It is what it is. Every now and then I still do it too. But it's, for me, what I usually try to do, I plan my month out ahead of time. Like, I know I'm going to be going to Virginia pretty much every 2 weeks. It's also get ahead of the game and go ahead and purchase your plane tickets. That will help you also and save you money. But it's kind of like you have to protect your dial time, right? So you have to protect your schedule as well. For me, I always let friends and family and stuff get in the way of my schedule in the beginning. And I wasn't handling it like a business. I wasn't treating this deal like a business. So it affected me in a pretty negative way. And then it was tough, You can't be running appointments and be at all your friends and your family's beck and call. It just doesn't work. So you have to get them on board and let them know, hey, you are running a business. You take this seriously. If you're running into issues with family stuff getting in the way, you have to be tough. You gotta be stern. Let them know. Essentially, you're not available at those times, unless it's an emergency, of course. But for me, I get my kids every other weekend. It's just the way my deal is. So I try to run 8 to 10 appointments every day. So for the first week, I run 8 to 10 appointments Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And that puts me at about 32 to 40 appointments a week, and that's my money week. Well, just like, what do you do when you have the kids every other weekend? So on what I'll do is the Wednesday before that second week, I'll dial from 8 a.m. till noon, or until I book up my full Thursday. Because Thursday I'm supposed to be dialing, so I hope I'm not going to confuse you here, but I'll run 8 to 10 on that Thursday, and then I'll probably run 4 to 5 that Friday morning, then go get my kids. Spend Saturday, Sunday with them, go back to the office, to the drawing boards, and we're looking at Monday now. Monday I'm dialing, okay? I run Tuesday, Wednesday. So that's 8 to 10 there. So, I mean, really, that's like 29 to 35 appointments I could run and not run on a weekend. Now, a lot of people, they run and dial at the same time, like James Ware. He's dialing in between, on the road, shooting massive amounts of text messages out in the morning to, old leads, and he's booking them up. That way he's able to run, 5 days on the road. It's a pretty smooth process for him. But it's like, we have to be really intentional about what we do and how we do it. So I start off early in the mornings, usually nowadays. I already know where I'm going to go, but I'll take like a general area, and it's funny. I'll look at the reviews, and not to be judgy, but it's part of my deal. But I look at the reviews, of like restaurants around the area I'm going to be running. So I kind of know what type of people I'm going to deal with. But at the end of the day, they're all people. They still need insurance. But that's just something that I do, and it helps me out. Because, if they're going to be acting a certain way about, they wanted sweet tea and they got unsweet tea, it's kind of, you got to know what you're in for if you're not familiar with the area. But also what I'll do, if I have like a Tuesday and a Wednesday and I'm running, I'll start like at the lower end of my area, and then I'll work counties up or cities up, so that I'm not going from one appointment A and to appointment B. It's an hour and 30-minute drive. I don't want to do that. I want to be in the same area I'm running. And so what I mean by that is, two counties are next to each other, I'll try to run as much as that one county, and then if I have to drive, like if there is an hour drive before my next appointment, I'll book up like crazy in that one little area, and then I'll drive an hour to the next one before rush hour. So I'm running early evening, like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, and the area that's further away from me. And then the next day I'll switch it and reverse it. And the areas further away from me, I'll drive out there early in the morning ahead of time, and I'll work my way back home. Or to wherever I'm staying at that time. So, but you got to talk about like leads a little bit. That's your bread and butter, right? So, without leads, you're not going to get appointments. Without appointments, you're not going to get sales, and you're not going to be able to run, these 25 to 30 plus appointments a week. So, if you're purchasing older leads, I let them build up. So, jump on your CRM. Look at whatever areas you're running. And even if, like Atlanta, Georgia is a really populated area for FFL agents. So what we have and we run into is there's not a lot of leads on the CRM. But when they come up, buy them in your area, your state, your counties, wherever. Just go ahead and buy them, let them build up, and just add it to your arsenal. Whether you're running Facebook or EverQuote, whatever the case may be. Well, you also have your mortgage. So I actually have mortgage, mailers. So I have a bunch of counties in Georgia, a bunch of counties in Virginia, and as soon as they pop up and they're open, they're available, I'm picking them up, because everybody likes a new lead. But if you add new leads with your old mortgage leads, and then you have your Facebook as well in your EverQuote, how are you going to go wrong? And the thing is, your leads will slow down in certain areas sometimes, but that's okay. because you have all these other leads pumping in from, different lead vendors. It works for me. It works for all the top agents. Some agents are lucky enough to just run one lead type, but it's not my deal. It doesn't work for me because my leads do slow down from time to time. And if you're running mortgage, summer times they slow down a little bit. Mortgage just hasn't been pumping out lately as much as they have been, so it's important. I jumped back on Facebook probably about a month ago, and I'm seeing positive results. I don't have to worry about if my leads are slowing down or the county's not pumping out what I need, because I'm definitely prepared and I'm ready. But if you want to talk about $3 leads, what I like to do is let them build up in certain areas where I see agents aren't picking them up at. So you'll see like over time there'll be like 30, 40 over here, and then you just buy those, and then you wait, and it builds up again. You buy 30, 40 $3 leads or old Mail Pro Mortgage off the CRM, and now you have 60 leads to run in a certain area. Then you go out to that area to work. You don't have to have new mortgage. You just turn on your EverQuote, or you can do a Facebook campaign in that general area, and now you have maybe 100 plus leads. So you can stay out there for a whole week and just clean up. And yeah, jump on a plane. I'll fly out to Memphis, or jump on a plane, or I head out to the North Carolina coast. And each time I submitted over 10K. Plane ticket. Yep, bought a bunch of old $3 leads for like $200, $300, something like that. Turned on my EverQuote, spent like maybe another 100, just so I could have something to fill in my gaps if I have them during the morning or the day. Because on mortgage leads, nobody's ever home because they all work, right? But that's not true. So y'all just really try to focus in on your schedule and your leads and protecting your dial time, and you're definitely going to be on the way to issuing 30K a month. But what it comes down for me and the leads and my schedule, what I usually do as far as Facebook or Final Expense goes, I book them, if they're in the same city, in the same area, 2 Final Expense per hour. Because you're going to run into stuff. People are going to no-show you. They're going to one-leg you. They're going to forget that they had a doctor's appointment. Or they're going to, try to call you and cancel. Say they have a doctor's appointment, right? And we've all heard of that. And you show up anyways like we're supposed to do. And guess what? They're home. Oh, my doctor canceled my doctor's appointment. Okay. Should I take my shoes off, or should I leave them on? And you just walk in, make the sale. But then if you run into if you have a little white space, go ahead and throw in like 3 or 4 door knocks in there, right? So now you have your 3 or 4 door knocks of the people you can't get in contact with. They're literally in the same neighborhood sometimes as, your appointments. And so if you get no-showed or you get one leg, that's okay. I'll come back. I'll call you guys same time tomorrow, whatever. Politely move on and go knock on some doors. And when you're knocking on these doors, don't go banging on them, peeking in the window or anything like that. So what I got from John was, I just write on the lead 3 p.m. appointment. I go knock on their door. And then I'm just like, hey, I'm here from a 3 o'clock appointment. They're sending me out about the information you requested. Oh, yeah, they send you out. Yep, they sure do. Or I'm like, hey, just want to make sure you're alive because we've been trying to get in contact with you and nobody's answering the phone. I know if it was my mama and she wasn't answering the phone, she's done it before, I'm showing up. So I don't take it personally, but I'm just here to make sure you're good. Yep, okay. You have 5 or 10 minutes to go over this real quick. You get in, you're golden. Or should I come back tomorrow around the same time? America could be a scary place for some people. It's not for me, though. I'll go knock on doors in trailer parks, ghettos, rich neighborhoods, and people, as long as you present yourself as a kind-hearted person and people like you, you shouldn't have a problem getting inside. But every now and then I get people to tell me to piss off. Is what it is. But I'm going to finish up just going over some stuff that I do in the home, and I hope it helps you. I've changed some things up over time, but, they always say, stories, they create that, I don't know how to say it, but when you're telling a story to a client about something that's happened to another one of your clients or a family member or a friend, it's like, it's good to say, hey, paint me a picture. What would it look like if, God forbid, something were to happen to Steve, right? But what I do is I tell them in the beginning, my little intro, I'm like, just so you guys know, after my rapport, very small. Again, I have a bunch of appointments, so I don't want to spend too much time trying to be these folks' friend, because I'm not their friend. I'm here to help them. And I have a bunch of other clients I have to see too, so I want to show them the same respect I would show my other clients. So I'm like, okay, I do mortgage protection, final expense, traditional life insurance, burial, retirement planning, all that good stuff. And they send me out with the client suitability worksheet to help you figure out what you're eligible for. But I'll tell them, I'll be like, my last client, it was weird because, Bob made $3,000 and Mary made $1,000. Their mortgage was $1,000. So the thing that was weird about it is not their income, right? But can you believe, we came down to the solution here. If something happened to Bob, his wife was going to lose $3,000. She wasn't going to be able to stay in the house because the mortgage is $1,000. And can you believe they said to me that they were going to think about it? And they're like, huh? What? I'm like, yeah, I found a solution for them that was going to protect their mortgage for a whole year so that Mary could sell the home. But they said they wanted to think about it. And so I kind of just went over it again with them. And, it turns out it actually made a little bit of sense. So we got them, 12 months worth of mortgage payments, just so, something did happen to Bob, Mary could at least sell the house and recoup that $80,000 in equity. So I just plant the seed right there. I'm just setting the stage real quick. I'm like, does that make sense? They're like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, because covering the whole mortgage, you're 65 years old, it's going to be that of another mortgage payment. Who wants to pay double mortgage payments? And they're like, oh gosh, I couldn't imagine. So I just set the stage a little early. And then from there, you stick to the financial inventory sheet. And if you start feeling like you're catching a little bit of pushback, go back to their why. Look at their income, because their income is their why. Unless they have a whole lot of life insurance, but most folks, they don't. And if they did, they probably wouldn't fill out the form. So, and it's not just really focusing, it's asking the right questions and how you ask these questions to the client. Because these clients they don't do what we do, and they don't know what we're coming into the game with. So you go in, you be real serious, maybe crack a couple jokes, and that's fine, because that's what I do. But then I'm real serious also. Listen, God forbid if something were to happen to Mary, and she's the breadwinner, or Bob, whoever's the breadwinner, something happens to Bob, you lose $4,000 a month. Where are you going, Mary? What does it look like? Do you have family around here? Right? You don't have family here. Where are the kids? 2 states away, a state away. Got it, okay. I understand. So, and don't just stop there. Like, what would you have to do? Is your daughter moving in here with you to help take care of the mortgage? Or do you think you're going to be moving in with them? Does she have enough space for you there? Do you think she would want to bring the kids all the way back to her hometown? Just ask real serious questions. And they're looking at each other like wondering what they are going to do. And then ask him what he's going to do. Do you really want to live, like if something happened to Mary here? Do you really see yourself staying here? And for how long? There's stairs. Your hips, your knees are going to go bad. I'm 34. My knees are bad. I don't like going up and down stairs unless I really, really have to. Even then, I don't want to. When I had a 2-story house and I'd come home from work, sometimes I'd fall asleep on the couch. And they laugh because they've done the same thing. So you can go from serious to joking if you like, and it doesn't affect the sale at all. If you start getting a little too serious, they're crying, crack a joke. You know, if you feel like they're getting, you know, it's too funny of a talk with them, or you're getting too close to that friend zone, take a step back and just remember you're there to take care of these families. My close, it's a blend of multiple agents. I just kind of, I'm like, I get them, of course you guys set it up and you're like, you know, after we get done going over some financial stuff, we have to, basically, we're going to look at some options that are available for you. I don't say pricing because it makes it seem like I'm trying to sell them something. I want to give them options. And I'm just like, okay, we're going to go over some options and we're going to find something that's going to work best for you and your budget, because budget's really important, but also something that you're going to qualify for. Because if you can't qualify for $1 million policy, there's no point in talking about it, right? And most clients of mine don't need $1 million. They're like, oh, yeah, I got you. Okay. Not in the head the whole time, because I'm not in my head the whole time, right? It's like monkey see, monkey do with these folks. It really is. You know, you lean forward, they lean forward, you lean back, they lean back. If their arms are cross your arms. And like kind of lean forward to them, and then they're going to uncross their arms. It's the psychology of the sell. But for my close, generally, I'm just kind of like, all right, so this is what we, you know, I get them, if they're talking about their wife, this is what we have to do. And they don't want, you know, they don't want Mary to lose the equity, you know, anything like that. Oh, you don't want the younger couples. You don't want your wife and your kids to have to move back in with their parents or her parents, right? Okay. So this is what we have to do, or this is what we are going to do. I'm going to touch up on some medical stuff. Make sure you qualify for the plan that we're going to present to you today. Okay? Based off of that, we're going to figure out which, wait, let me back up. Based off of what we figure out in your medical deal, let us know which options we're going to be approved for. And then I'm going to lay out these options to you. Probably going to be 100% of your mortgage, 75%, 50%, etc. And then you actually get to pick which one best works for you, okay? And then they always say, okay. And all we do is we show them, you know, option A, B, or C after we go over their health. All right, now I want you guys to think about these for a moment. Which one best fits your budget? And at the same time, which one of these death benefits would work best for you and your family? Okay, so think about these. All I need is your driver's license real quick. And then let them think about them, let them pick an option. Boom, bam, done. So I hope it helps y'all. You know, we're out here in Atlanta. Most folks know how to reach me. So if you have any questions or concerns, give me a call. Thank you.
Jermaine Clifford here with Family First Life Impact, Family First Life Balance Options, and Family First Life Southeast, and of course Family First Life. Always grateful for an opportunity to share with the team. From what I've learned, nothing that I'm going to share is original. Everything that I've learned, I've cased, copied, and steal everything, because you know, the environment we have here, everybody can learn from everybody, and be successful. So I'm grateful to Galen and Michelle Weir for their mentorship, Meaike Kilmet, and all of the Family First Life team, Southeast team, and overall Family First Life. So two things I'm going to share real quick that I think will be very, very beneficial when it comes to being a successful independent contractor in this business as an insurance agent, are, you know, leads and schedule. Leads are the lifeblood of our business. If you don't have leads, you don't have a business. And so you've got to get good at getting leads, and you've got to get good at having a good schedule so you could run those leads, you could dial those leads. So as far as leads are concerned, you want to have a mixture of everything that you can get your hands on. If you look at most of our top producers here at Family First Life, they've got a very diverse lead flow. You know, you have multiple options available. That's a beautiful thing about what we do. You've got the Facebook leads. Most of my new agents that my agent partners that I work with are starting off with Facebook leads. They come in quickly, you know, 2 to 3 days. You've got a whole order that's filled. They're $15 each, brand new leads, and you can be able to go out and earn some money very quickly. Once you've got that under your belt, you want to incorporate some second chance leads as well. When you go into the CRM and you go under leads and purchase leads, there's cherry pick leads, there's Mail Pro second chance leads. There's multiple options for you to have some second chance leads that may be 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days old. And they're not really old. They're actually pretty brand new. And so you're able to go in and purchase those, and you could get them for $3 and $5 and $8. And there's some even on there for $1. And, you could do final expense. You could do mortgage protection leads. There's even Medicare supplement leads, like turning 65 leads on there. So there's lots and lots of options. You can also do the new mortgage mailing campaign. It's $370 or $75 for 1,000 pieces mailed out with, worst case scenario, 1% return. That's phenomenal. You're looking at, even at a 1% return, it's $37 for a brand new mortgage lead. You also have final expense mailers. You could do the Mail Pro buy per lead program, where it's $32 for a brand new final expense lead that's been mailed in. So multiple options for you to be able to get your business started off right. And the most important thing is having a budget for your leads. A lot of us come from a job, a full-time job, and I've got a lot of agent partners that were working full-time, so somebody else was covering the bill as far as the resources needed in order for them to come in and work to produce an income for the company, and then the company gave them a small portion of that income. I was there as well, so I wasn't familiar with putting a budget towards resources. I mean, when I was working, my only budget was, hey, the gas to get to work. And whatever I spent on lunch. But now that you own your own business and you have the income potential that you do, now you have to plan ahead, and you have to designate. And I'm always asking new agents that I work with, okay, what budget do you have to start ordering leads? And I'll let them know, hey, most of my agents starting with about $400 to $500 a week. Where do you fit into that window? If you could do more, great. More leads, more success. But always have that budget, and you want to start off and then increase that budget over time, because the more leads you have, the more people you have to call, the more people you can go see, the more success you can have. So, and make sure that when you start off, even though you're brand new, you want to have a separate account for your business. It could be just a regular checking account. Open it up with your bank, and you have your deposits go into that from the insurance companies, and then you pay yourself a salary from that account. That way there's money always in that account to be able to purchase leads, because if you're out of leads, you're out of business. So you always want to make sure that all the money is going into the business account. You pay yourself a small salary, and as long as you can, try to maintain your same level of living. don't go up. You can make you can make money in this business very quickly, and it's very tempting to increase your lifestyle quickly, and then start depleting the capital that you need to actually grow and keep yourself in business. So don't make that mistake. Make sure you have a separate account, and then you have a budget, and then make sure you're asking your mentor. I'm always in communication with Galen, in reference to what I need to do from a leads perspective, getting his input, and duplicating, what everybody else is doing that's successful, making sure you're asking questions. You see somebody that's issue paying a lot in your office, talk to them. Don't be afraid to ask questions and find out, hey, what are you doing for leads? Even at my level, we've got new guys coming in and they're doing really well, and so I'm checking in because they might know something that I don't know, because they have a different vantage point. I've been here almost 2 years now, and it's easy to get complacent in this business, but you got to stay on your toes, and so I'm always asking questions and be willing to learn, be willing to be coachable, and make sure you always have enough leads, and always order. You got to plan, guys. You got to plan, order ahead. If if say today is Monday and you're going in the dial, you can't be looking at what leads you need to get today. You need to have had your leads ordered last week Wednesday, if not prior, the prior Monday, to be able to make sure you're prepared. One of the things I do with, I have the mortgage protection BPL, so those leads are always coming in Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. And so I'm always ordering Facebook leads to supplement that. So on Mondays, I'll put in a Facebook order that will be fulfilled by Thursday. So I have those to dial. Thursdays, I repeat the same thing, so I'll have new leads to dial on Monday. So you always want to plan ahead and never be caught without leads, because then, you're out of business, and it's very frustrating. I mean, if you want to talk about anxiety, if you don't have enough leads, you'll definitely be on some anxiety medication. So, but that's very, very important, and we can't stress that enough, as far as how important it is to make sure you've got enough leads. And then, of course, you got to get on the phone, dial those leads, and go see them. And, the schedule we run, and I was very privileged, if you will, to be in an office where there was just a bunch of full-time agents having success when I got started here in Atlanta almost 2 years ago. And, everyone were dialing on Monday to run Tuesday and Wednesday, and then dialing on Thursday to run Friday, Saturday. And, when I started up until recently, I was only running about 20 to 25 appointments per week in those 4 days. And now I've increased that to about 30 appointments per week. So if you're full-time, you want to run 30 appointments per week. That way you don't have to be the best salesman or saleswoman, in the world. You can just go out and see the people that really and truly want your help, and you can help those. And by running that many appointments, you learn through the process, especially if you're brand new. You want to run as many appointments as possible. I normally tell my new agent partners, hey, you want to get to 100 appointments as quickly as possible. And that's something I learned from somebody else while I was here, because within that 100 appointments, you're basically fine-tuning your sales techniques. You're learning all the different objections. You're learning all the different medications. You're learning all the different products. That's really your training. It's hands-on training. It's like, get your license, go see 100 people, and you'll learn everything you need to learn. And the best part about our business is you can make money along the way as you're learning. So yes, you're going to be a little bit anxious. You're going to be a little bit hesitant, I guess, is a word, because you don't know everything, but that's fine. It's okay not to know everything. The way we kind of teach you here is, hey, here's a pool. I'm going to push you in. I'll be right here. Kick your legs, move your arms, keep your head above water. If you're going under, I'll grab you. Don't worry. And the funny thing is, by doing that, you actually learn a lot faster when you're in the environment. So, don't just sit around and be aiming and never fire. Just fire, and we'll adjust your shot as you go. But it's important as a full-time agent to have a consistent schedule, to make sure that your schedule is a priority. When we become full-time, sometimes we end up, in a position where we feel like, okay, I control my schedule, so I can go do this instead of work. And then I'll get back to work later. No, if you're working, you're working. And I've learned that, and I've messed up with that, and I've seen the results of that, as far as not having the production that I needed to be able to meet my goals financially, because I didn't manage my schedule well. And so you want to make sure Mondays, when you're dialing, that you sit down 8 to 12 minimally. You're dialing, not getting up, not going to the bathroom, not going to talk to somebody else in the office, not going to grab a cup of coffee. And that's why it's good to go in the office and just sit down somewhere and just dial. As many dials as you could get in that 4-hour block. Same thing again on Thursday. Booking up from Monday, 10 to 15 appointments, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then on Thursday, same thing, 8 to 12, 10 to 15 appointments, Friday, Saturday. And part-time agents, you want to make sure you're at least running 15 appointments per week, and you want to make sure that you have, a day that's dedicated to dial, whether it's a half a day, and then 1 or 2 days that you can run business. Don't do the part-time, I'm going to do 2 appointments today and 1 appointment tomorrow and 3 appointments the next day. You got to collapse the time frame and give yourself some momentum. When you do the onesie twosies, that's frustration. because you'll still have reschedules and no-shows, and you'll be even more disappointed because that one appointment you had today was a no-show. Now you got to wait till tomorrow, till your next 2 appointments, opposed to if you had 8 appointments or 10 appointments in one day, and that first one's a no-show. The second one, is you get porched at the door. They don't want to let you in, but then you're going on to the next one, and your attitude and your attitude is just a lot higher, and you're more excited, and you can go through the day with a better attitude, which gives you better results. So either way, guys, that's what I wanted to share with you, the importance of leads. And I know I kind of went quickly through it, but definitely talk to your manager. Reach out to me. You could connect with me on Facebook. I'm happy to help anybody that has questions about this. And then the importance of a schedule. Treat your business like a business. Run it like a job. You are the employer and the employee. And you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, would I fire myself today? At the end of every day, would I pay myself when I'm paying myself, or would I fire myself? And what do I need to change to get better? So thank you, Shawn, Meaike, and the entire corporate family and team for what you guys do. Thank you, Mike Kilmet, for this opportunity. Galen and Michelle, thank you for your mentorship, and everybody else on the Southeast team. Thank you for your coaching and support. I appreciate it. So thankful to be in this industry. Thankful for this opportunity. I hope that helps someone, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Later, guys.